And the last day of the Capital Meet here today at the races with Keith Fustel. Looking at a fun card to wrap up this year on.
Yeah, we close it out. No doubt about it. Yesterday, a couple good stakes, some performances. We didn't have any real big prices. What we have, Cal? One race maybe with an
Correct.
$11.20 winner.
$11.80.
$11.80.
Yep.
Yeah, that was about it.
That was it.
We couldn't unearth a whole lot. Big day for Sheldon, right? And Brittany Russell. I was sitting there this morning at the table talking to Gina, and I'm like, I don't know who abuses me more, you or Brittany Russell. You know, she beats me up at home a little bit, and then through the betting windows, poor Brittany, I try to beat her. I give a negative stat, and then she beats me again. So it's tough. Hey, at least you can have fun with it. That's the good thing. I try. That's why it's fun to gamble. But no, it's not. I'm not meaning it in a mean way. It's just kind of funny the way it kind of plays out. But
we're all here for fun. We're all here for fun. Speaking of that, some mandatory payouts in all these carryover pools in the Super High Five, the Rainbow Pick 6, and our Late Pick 5 as well. We also have the maximum lift has. The maximum bet has been lifted as well for this last day, fitting for these mandatory payouts as well. And going ahead to the track, we've got a little bit of the same story, just a touch lighter than yesterday, Keith.
Yeah, muddy and sealed. Yeah, it was a little bit more slop in it yesterday, but today, muddy and sealed. We'll see if this moisture hangs around. Might cloud up a little bit. I'm hoping so, at least and Dave as well, from a chart calling and announcing. It gets a little tough with that sunlight and the water on the racetrack, the glares. It's not easy, but we ready to get started here?
Yeah, let's get started with this early pick 5. Of course, low industry percent takeout in this claiming 12-5 for the girls. 3 and up, which have never won. 3 going a mile here. Second wire finish on the dirt. Scratch in the 4, Hot Dance, significant scratch there. You and I both land on Sadie the Goat on the outside. Currently 9-5 as of this recording for Mario Saray Jr. with Georgie Gonzalez.
Yeah, she'll take plenty of play in here. A 4-time winner. She's been busy. A lot of races over the last month. I think this little drop, this outer draw was okay. Maybe like a little trip like a Quincannon that we saw the other day. Out there 3 wide with some speed to target. Lady Charlotte going inside with that speed. Neolithica could go with her. They got hooked up a couple races back. Last time out, Neolithica lost all chance when easing back off arrivals. I think she'll be into the flow early. But Sadie the Great, proven, can handle the route of ground. I think she can get the jump on a closer like Viennese Waltz, a 2-time winner here for Jerry Robb. But Robb done well with these droppers last 5 years on the dirt. 20 for 65. That's a 31% strike rate, 265 ROI on this type of drop. And I'm looking for some speed to develop. Targets for Sadie the Great and Viennese Waltz to make that run. Interesting little price shot would be the 11 Maddie 10. I just think this horse, ramping back into shape has a little chance. Going to have to save a little bit more ground. This may be pushing the limits. Yes, she's won it a mile, but she doesn't run quite as fast as these, but could be a user underneath at a price.
I think at this level, and to kind of take a quote from Tulloch, that they broke the maiden for the 30, we're down to 12-5. That's where it kind of fits into the equation here, as well as the 1. I also like the 7 for a price underneath in Voodoo Priestess, 12-10. 11-1 for Keith Fustel in race number 1.
One other price. Callie. I would just throw in there. You've got Toriabo on a 20-1 morning line.
There we have it.
Originally, I think, has ridden Hot Dance before. Hot Dance is now scratched. Second off the claim. Just, when you see a rider of that caliber at that big of a number, there's a little bit of a story sometimes that goes along with it. Might be a user underneath at a good number.
Claudio Gonzalez, 2 for 9 with his first-time routers as of lately, 22% for a 20-1 shot there in the first leg of the early pick 5, going ahead to race number 2. Keith, we've got your early pick 4, your last early pick 4 of 2024 on a $24 ticket. How fitting.
Yeah, 2, 4, 7, 8 to get you started. B West will take a slew of play in race 2, especially with that scratch of Addie's Laddie TNT, who I thought was a user. Race 3, we go 3D. With the 1, 4, and 6. Wrap it up 2 apiece in race 4 and 5. So Splendor Beauty in race 4 along with Patient Capital. Some scratches in there we'll get to. In race 5, How Sweet It Is, the 1 and the 3. Graceful Rose, Mikey Gorham, $24.
There we go. Love that. And this starts in the starter optional 12.5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching the rail horse. Addie's Laddie TNT. Keith, you have the number 8 up against it here in your top selection. Carlos Caban, Michael Sanchez looking for win number 3 in a row. First time over here at Laurel.
This guy's very familiar with Laurel Park.
Sorry, not Laurel. Yes.
Yeah, 11 for 39. He's capable on a wet track. Shown a little bit more positional speed of late, but this guy does have the ability to make runs from off the pace. I thought his last race was good where he kind of grounded out. I think one of his horses came back and ran pretty good in a starter next time out with an okay number. But you go on the go back. 7/8 made that run from off of it. You got speed in here with B West. Mr. Marshall going to get back here on the dirt, and he's orientate. Very quick. I think you're going to see Sanchez take a little bit of a rating tactic. I don't think he's got to be too far back, but from the price that you're going to get on B West, that offers the value here in race number 2.
There we go. Talking about the number 4 that you have underneath B West, Kieran McGee, Torrealba. Let's take a look at that win. Last 2 back on the 25th of October.
Yeah, tried to get out to a mile most recently, up close early to some pretty good internals. I expected him to stay a little bit better and make that run. He had no real interest that day. Backed up, beating 15, 16 lengths, almost 20 it looks like. Okay, but this particular day sits off that pace, swings out, and surges on by. I think getting back to the sprint is going to do wonders for B West. Awfully short price here for Kieran.
Yep.
At an 8-5 morning line, could come down a touch with the scratch. He's an orientate though. I tell you what, he might blast off the front end here and look at his record. He's 2 for 4 on and off track, topped at a 79. Kind of scary. You know, you might want to keep him a little bit occupied if you can. Keep him close. He could stretch it here at an okay number. 8, 4, 7, 2. We're right around the same top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Race number 3. Maiden claiming 45, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Keith, you have the number 4, Jazeel, as your top selection. Let's take a look at this Katie Voss trainee with JV and Toledo. Last out on the 14th of December.
Yeah, one thing we've discussed about Jazeel upstairs in the press box, Bill and I, just, you know, to me, yeah, I think he can get the mile, maybe even the mile and a 16th. He just looks to us like maybe a one-run sprint type. Like if he can sit and make that good grinding run, say from mid-turn to the wire. I thought he overcame the adversity quite well in his most recent outing at a mile. We used him that day at a 7-1. He's had all kinds of trouble at Parks in the race prior. Comes back here, just ran into a buzzsaw. Virginia City for Marici. The barn just keeps rolling, that Marici barn. Yeah. Menacing run, upper stretch, just not quite good enough. Top number, career best, buyer of a 72. So a couple of these horses, Fluff the Pillow, Maximus Speed, could offer some targets. I think the run will sustain here today at the 7/8 for Katie Voss's runner, Jazeel.
Absolutely. You also talk about the number 6, Maximus Speed, Brittany Sheldon Russell. They team up here. Second time in the barn for Russell coming over from Parks as well. Yeah,
using everything. I mean, I tell you, this horse, her stats are just staggering going maiden special weight and now in for a tag. Could have needed that race. Had to get used a little bit early. Took that pressure just to fade late in a race with Jazeel. I think he could be honored just off of it. A horse to the inside, Fluff the Pillow, who comes back off of a break as a first-time gelding, wants to go ahead and go, or maybe even Karma's in the house. I do think Maximus Speed, as shown in his debut, has the ability to sit and make a move into it, albeit at a shorter number.
Sure. Let's talk about Let's Go JJ for Horacio to pass. Jamie Rodriguez fought with this one on and off of my ticket. Just didn't like that inside post.
No, that's the tricky part. 7/8 first out, not easy. But debut in a maiden claimer, smaller sample, has a positive ROI. But when you're talking about a muddy, sealed surface, a sloppy surface, you're seeing this breeding. McLean's music on the top side. Yes, it's true on the bottom side. That's strong. That's super, super strong. Horse is full to dirty. A horse we saw run around here did his best on the turf, but did win, I think, debut on the main track. And there's another one in there that's run okay. And out of the firsters, 3 starters, a winner in 2 seconds. These horses run early. A $450,000 purchase for a Maryland bred. That's a chunk of change
Yeah.
there. So let's go, JJ. My old man Jerry Jackson up in the sky, Uncle Jerry. We miss him. Maybe that's a little tell there for me. A little
There we go.
sentimental value. Okay.
And that'll get you in the winner's circle just as well sometimes. There's 4, 6, 1, 5 there for race number 3. Starting off race number 4 is the Rainbow Pick 6. And again, mandatory payouts here. That Rainbow Pick 6 is going to be on its way up to over $2,000, which is why I have a really expensive ticket for today.
Yeah.
So here, just, hear me out. I could not, in between the race 6 and race 7, I really couldn't decide on which horse I wanted to single on. So I said, you know what? I'm going to throw everything there, and you guys can just cut this ticket in half by choosing a horse as your single in race 6 or race 7. So races 4, 5, and especially 8, I go wide on that. I almost hit that ticket yesterday, but I had I missed off I had the 4 horse in my picks, but not in my ticket for the last leg yesterday. So for me, that's where I just turned the other way. I overcorrect, which is why I have 4 wide in that field. In the last, we'll get a special Keith Fusel stat to round out our 2024 year. But again, this is a ticket that's definitely meant to be cut in half via a single. I'm just throwing this at you guys. So this does start in the starter optional, 20,000 going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 1, 4, and 7. Keith, you and I both have the number 2 and Patient Capital here. Let's take a look at that last effort out for Farrier Toledo. Boca Chica is on in the screen.
Yeah, I thought this is a good effort. Second off the claims, but okay for Farrier of late. Got a little bit of a pickle here, leaving the far turn, shuffle 3/8. It's maybe happened a little bit sooner, but had to ease back. But then makes another little run. It works in between horses here, upper stretch. Chase is on, afraid of the bunny, able to control things up front, 24, 3, 48, and 3. Just too good for that nest runner. But Patient Capital, dead game, off to the left lead there. Draws inside at the 2 turns. Again, that might be just pushing the limits. Loses some of the target with what does it take in Sagrada Rey out there. So got to worry that Splendor Beauty going to go. The part that stays in here of Jamie Ness is going to have to make that move from just off the pace and try to wear that one down. But should be forward a long way with that inner post. Okay,
we both go 8-3 underneath as well. I'm surprised. I thought you were going to go with Master of None before you went with Amity Road. But Amity Road is intriguing with Andy Hernandez back on.
Yeah, I think that horse has a shot. You're looking at the last couple races, doesn't have that big finish. Yep. I thought there was going to be a little bit more setup with the speeds. This is just an underneath. The 1 and the 2 should carry this field a long way.
There we go. On to race number 5. That starts the late pick 5 as well. We do have mandatory payout coming up there. But in a claiming, 45 for the 3-year-old girls, which have never won 3, going a mile, second wire finish here on the dirt. Scratching the coupled entry of 1A Tis Race Day. Scratch the 4, pop over Gal. You and I both go with How Sweet She Is. Looking for a second win in a row, extending from the 7 furlongs, which we are going to look at in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, the part that stays in. This horse runs real big this particular day. Sandwiched at the break. You see the bump from both sides and a little bit of a steady ouch.
Yeah, that was a sandwich.
That was the old sandwich, yeah. But was able to recover. Sandwich. They got some flow. She did. She got some flow, and he goes to riding here around the turn. And was able to kind of drop in and save some ground around the turn, and then a beautiful rail opening. Isn't this inviting? Look at this. Everybody wants to come off the rail at the top of the stretch at Laurel. Man, that's a pet peeve of ours, calling charts, but we see it all
Not
the time.
When I ride.
And look at this. Right on through.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Thank you very much. Second off the claim, last 3 years for Ness. Second off a claim following a win, 12 for 34, 25 of 34 in the money, 206 ROI. Dominating performance. You saw that adversity early. She has a little bit more positional speed. I think it's her or by the glass here in race number 5.
Makes complete sense. We also both include the 9 and the 7 Conquest Dancer. Yeah. Maximo Madness. Just a sentence or two on this one because I saw it and I was like, and then I just went the other direction. Are you going off of the back form that we saw with Fennica Bentley?
You saw some slight back form, yeah, some positional speed, and with some of the speed taken out. Pop over girl who I thought had a chance at a good number on the front end along with his race day. So, yeah, you got second time Rudy. They don't drop off a kind of a suspect try. Goes forward. we've seen improvement in these barns, some dramatic improvement. So why not with a horse like that that's got some speed? And I think Conquest Dancer will be up there chasing.
Perfect. And we will be right back after this commercial break. Race 5, 1397 for Keith Fustel, and we will be back for that jackpot super high five. And we're back here for this jackpot super high five, of course, a mandatory payout on that. In race 6, with that carryover coming over, again, removing the maximum wager for that. In this maiden claiming $30,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 2-year-old fillies, scratching the rail horse, 7's Magic. You go with the number 7 on the outside. And Luminous Secret, this is a nice play here for Phil Schoenthal. Blinkers on, Angel Cruise on as well.
Yeah, what was my stat? My stat's later in the
Later
day.
in the
I was
day.
going to use this one.
Okay.
I'll just start with this as well. Last 5 years on the dirt, 4 for 18, 7 for 18 in the money. It's a 22-23% strike rate. Maiden claimers, first blinkers, 224 ROI. I thought this horse had legitimate trouble out of the gate. Phil has done well with this kind of move in the past, and I thought that was an okay race, pretty quick in its own right. I don't think this is the strongest field. Out to 7 is going to work. I think with a cleaner break, Cruz can get this one into position early and strike from just off the pace.
Why not? New boots for Brittany and Sheldon Russell is your second in command there. Coming off of that maiden 30 at Laurel, just looking to, are we extending today? Yeah, we're extending today from the 6 to the 7.
Caught It's a Monster Mash. She was the favorite there for Rob last time out, but the speed is good. Holding sway, holding the level. I'm looking at who's kind of going to go. I don't really see anybody with this kind of speed. And New Boots, again, second off of a break, has that build-up. So if a horse like Passage Each, who's fresh, it's an interesting drop on the 4. This horse was entered about 2 months ago, it seems, around here in scratch.
Yes.
But a little bit of a suspicious drop. That winner is a recent stakes winner at Finger Lakes. So the company was there. I'm just a little bit funky with this drop for the 4.
Okay.
So I think the 5 is definitely going to be out there a long way. But at an 8-1 morning line, we've got some value here with Schoenthal. It's a strong move with these blinkers. Positive ROI. Bred for a wet track as well. Temperature's about 16 to 17%. More Bubbles is going to be a user for me. Maiden special weight down on the maiden claiming with the blinkers on should ramp it up. It doesn't. I think is going to be further back. Got maybe 8-10 out of it, leaving that far turn, but I think can ramp up a run. You got to get fairly close. That track we talked about yesterday, you had to be in range by the top of the lane, no more than 2 or 3 out of it if you're going to make an impact.
There we go. 7, 5, 10, 4 for Keith Fusel there in race number 6 as we go ahead to race number 7. In this allowance, restricted allowance, going a mile on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. Scratches in the 4, 5, 8, and 9. You go with the number 2. Stop the Cap for Hammy Smith Toriaba. We're going to take a look at exactly why you have this one as your top selection from that effort last time out.
Yeah, paired up. Decent buyer numbers, close to 70, right? Maybe, this is the race going back most recent on the 17th. Red Hat Hannah on the lead. We had position with Stop the Cap. I thought this horse was making the right kind of move. Could she have been maybe just a little too close and just a little fizzle from the top of the lane home? We're going to find out. We're going to get Toriaba, her one with her 2 races back, and she's got maybe even a little bit more of a target with some lovely charm, who's now turned on all this speed to keep Red Hat Hannah honest. Proven on a wet track. sits a little further back, and I think definitely sustains better this afternoon at the 1-turn mile.
Okay, there we go. You mentioned Red Hat Hannah, who we just saw in that in that video last time out, talking about the number 7 as well, because you do mention Lovely Charm just taking on this new role of being on the lead. Diamond Sue, Oscar Mancia, Victor Carrasco here at a price of 10-1, sticking around the 7 for long distance.
Improved form for her, no doubt, but the finish concerns me. Can she follow through the last eighth of a mile with a couple of these? That's remains to be seen. Lovely Charm beats her, a good amount of lengths last couple. She's got a little bit closer each start. Going to have to make one more progression. But Lovely Charm, looking at her back form as well, she could shadow Red Hat Hannah. But I can tell you one thing. You don't want to let Red Hat Hannah just kind of clear and dictating here, because we saw what she did a few races back, and it was awfully strong against an okay field.
Let's go on to race number 8 in this regular allowance, the open allowance, going 3/4 of a mile in the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 2, 4, and 6. We leave this a little bit of a match race situation. Keith, you go with Factor It In for Carlos Mencia, Tori Alba. We've got a video with the 1 and the 3-year exacta as well with On the Mark.
Yeah, the return try for Factor It In hadn't been seen since May. On the Mark, very good form of late for trainer Joanne Schenkel. Factor It In was up on the front end this particular day. I did not expect him. Maybe he was just a little bit keen. The 7/8 of a mile he got to the front. But On the Mark, that recent form just got the better. This guy shifts out Factor It In. I thought all in all he kept on quite well. Now, second off the break for Factor It In, I'm going to give them a slight edge. These two could run as a team as long as they don't get too crazy. Debit Card had that set up last time and ran a big number. I looked at some other handicapping products, and it was dominating. I don't know if he'll run that back, but slight edge. 3 for 4 on a wet track for Factor It In. Just slightest of edges here in the 8th.
There we go. 1-3-5 for Keith Fusel there in the 8th. We get to race number 9 and a claiming 7,500 for the girls 3 and up. Condition race here, going a mile on the dirt. Scratching the 9 on the outside, horse Latesh. Keith, you have the number 8. You end 2024 with a nice special Keith Fusel stat on Watch Your Tone.
We got one home yesterday, right? That was probably the best part of the day early with Farrier on that little stat. So Watch Your Tone. Lacey Gaudette. Better pay attention. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. She is winning in bunches, 5 for 16 the last 30 days with a 274 ROI. But here's another thing she does very well with, right? Last 3 years on dirt, 6 for 14, 43% strike rate. Second off of this kind of layoff, 180 to 365 days. 283 is your ROI. How about this mare? She's only 3 for 3 on the wet going. I think gets this little drop. She's hit with a couple of these droppers, his Lacey, of late. I think this one will definitely be closer, much closer early than what she was last time. This isn't the most demanding type of field. I like the positioning here with Rosado to stalk and pounce. But you got to pay attention to the 3, Mosler's Image as well. Mosler's Image kind of even, a little bit of hiccup out of the gate going 7/8 of a mile. Second time for the barn that's had a great 2024 in Annette Eubanks. I think Mosler's Image, first time on the wet track, a Mosler. We always say upstairs, Mosler in the mud. These are the 2 I'm keying around in the nightcap. 3-8-8-3. Look for Sweet Tally to kind of sit chilly and make a grinding run from off of it.
And there we have it. 8-3-2-1. Keith, thank you so much for guiding us through this last day of 2024. And with that, let's carry on and dive deep into that lightning round. Race number 6 on the number 7 at 8-1. Luminous Secret for Phil Schoenthal and Angel Cruz as your last value play of 2024.
Last value play. Can we get it home? First or second will work for me at that kind of number. So, yeah, the blinker's going on. It's been the right kind of angle for Phil. I thought this horse had legitimate trouble in debut. Didn't run terribly. Finished up okay. 7/8 works.
And you also go with the best bet in race number 9 and the last on the number 8. You just discussed Watch Your Tone. Gaudette, Rosado on the upswing.
Yeah, just back. Going to start winning in bunches, it looks like. And when these trainers get going, you got to pay serious attention. Watch Your Tone. Second off the break. We showed you that strike rate. It's strong, very strong. I think this horse gets much closer. I think it was like 10-12 out of it last time after. This horse is like mid-turn, sitting there, chilly. I think we can go get the money.
Okay, there we have it. Keith, and your last best bet of the year. Let's talk gin. The gin talking was commanded by Caprice for Cal Lynch with Jamie Rodriguez last time out. Taking all the abuse early on.
Yeah.
Had to do all the hard work.
Took that pressure, was caught in between horses, and not too late to the outside. Atlantis Queen was eager to go inside, but she was unfazed, and she was able to separate, holds firm late. The Brittany horse runs on there for a second, had a good setup for that. And we thought that was going to be a good distance for her as well. But took that pressure and kept on going. Caprice now still holding that perfect record sprinting the one-turn races.
Let's also discuss Brittany Russell and Sheldon Russell winning their third race in the row of the day, that time with one-man team also stretching out in the heft.
Buck the trend. We talked about the negative stat. No more. Okay,
Yeah.
got it done. This guy, his build and everything, the way he travels, I think the longer just might be the better for him, especially he's able to relax and stretch things out. Really, really good effort. It was like 2 seconds faster than the fillies. I didn't go back and check the buyers for those races,
I didn't get them
onward
either.
and upward for that one. Yes.
Your Barbadian runner on the inside ran very well, too. That was your top selection.
Yeah, we liked that one. It was an okay price. Made that move. Just fizzled very late. Needed that exacta. We keep that one in the exacta.
Give him another,
it happens.
Give him another go at that distance. It's fine. Yeah. Speaking of circling back to Brittany Russell, though, the Capital Meet title is, I think, well in hand here for Brittany Russell, leading Jamie Ness, coming in late charge, just cutting that in half. Kieran McGee, Michael Trombetta, Hammy Smith, what a good bunch of trainers on that board.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They can get you, a really good horse. They can keep them going. It's going to be tough, though. Brittany and Jamie, I mean, they've got the numbers and what she's got now. And talking about a lot of the races that are run, the maiden races and everything like that, she's got a lot of them. And, they do a tremendous job. It's amazing. The horses look good. They run good. And congrats to all those involved. But very, very capable group right there. And even the ones underneath. We've got some very good trainers here in Maryland.
Absolutely. Going ahead to the jockeys, Jamie Rodriguez. Doesn't matter if Jamie's in or out. He is still winning and leading this at 51 wins. I'm just going to leave it there in the sense between how this is going to end up today. But Toledo, Torrealba, Russell, these are Sanchez. These are all guys that we know and depend upon. Very, very proud of Torrealba being able to keep things up after losing his apprenticeship.
Oh, no doubt about it. And you're looking at some of these riders that pay attention. We're using one today. I think Torrealba might be on a price.
A 20-1.
Yeah, so you don't let those things slide by. There's a reason. They're attracted. Their agents are working hard to get them on the right kind of horses. And when they just don't go willy-nilly sometimes. Right. And pay attention. You catch a horse or a rider like that on a double-digit morning line, give it a second, maybe even a third look.
We wanted to remind you guys that we are removing the maximum wagers on the Rainbow Pick 6 and the Jackpot Super High 5 and the mandatory payouts in the Super High 5, the Rainbow Pick 6, and the Late Pick 5 are happening today. We gave those tickets out for you guys, and we are going to leave it here for the end of the year. We will be back in a couple of weeks renewed and refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah. Fresh and ready to go. I just want to thank everybody. We're a little transition going on. Want to thank Dave Joseph, Phil Janik, the guys that we work with doing all the communication stuff, the TV here, our whole TV crew. Everybody's been great. And, we're going to go through some changes and hopefully everything is a smooth transition and we bring back a bigger and better product starting in 2025.
Yeah, thank you to everybody at First for the past years and the past years prior. And we will see the first team back for Preakness 150. But until then, we're going to do our best to give you some fun in the meantime for a new 2025 off to Dave Rodman.
All right, good luck.